Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim. This will be a short slow flow Vinyasa practice today with the focus on the arms, the shoulders, arm strengthening, and we'll bring in some arm balance play. Not to worry if arm balances are not a part of your practice. You can still work your way towards them bit by little bit. And then maybe someday you get there, and if you don't, that's totally okay too. Please honor where you are. You'll need a couple blocks for the practice and also a strap if you have one. If you don't, then not a big deal, you can work around. Bring yourself to your mat, find a comfortable seated position. Feel free to sit up on something to elevate the hips above the knees, and find a nice upright alignment through your spine. If you would prefer to begin in child's pose or a little mini shavasana, please feel free to do that too. So get yourself situated. If it feels okay for you, you can close your eyes or just let the eyes go soft and find a steady gaze. Just take a moment to land. And call all of your energy back into this present moment. Allow yourself to be present with yourself, with your body, with your breath. Let go of everything else for now. You can deal with everything else later. Put down your to-do list. Let yourself just be here. Begin to check in with yourself and notice how you're feeling today. Notice any thoughts running through your mind, any emotions that you might be dealing with. Scan your body, notice any physical sensations, tightness or tension anywhere, any areas in your body that feel open and flowing. Begin to check in with your breath. Notice how your breath feels. Deep, smooth, and steady. Or maybe it feels a little shorter, more shallow, quicker. No judgment, just being curious about what is happening for you. And taking this time to check in with yourself. Give yourself a little tender, loving care. As always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as you move through this practice. And if you choose to carry the intention off of the mat and into the world with you. And just take a few deep, smooth, steady breaths in and out through the nose, or in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Couple rounds of breath here. Now you can begin to blink your eyes open. Invite some movement in. Wiggle your fingers. Give your toes a little wiggle. If you're not in a seated position, slowly find your way into a comfortable seat now. Then we'll clasp the hands together, interlace fingers, roll your wrists around in a few circles. And then switch the direction of your circles. And then release the hands, reach the arms forward. Begin to open the fingers as wide as you can and then curl the fingers in, forming fists. Open and close, so you're blinking the hands open and closed. Begin to feel this through the wrists and into the forearms. activating the muscles in the arms and the hands and the fingers. I'm beginning to build a little heat there. And then give your arms a shake. And relax the hands down onto the thighs. We'll roll the shoulders. Deep breath in as you roll the shoulders forward and up. And then deep breath out as you roll the shoulders back and down. And then circle around a few times. And then switch the direction of your circles. And then relax your shoulders down. Now let's drop the chin down towards the chest. Roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder. And drop the chin back down towards the chest. And now roll the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Bring your chin back to the chest. And then a few times gently rock your head side to side. And then bring your chin back to center. Bring your head all the way up. Let's find our way over onto the hands and knees, coming into a table position. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Bring the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's begin to shift yourself forward so that your shoulders come forward of the wrists. And then shift yourself back. So now the shoulders come back behind the wrist and you're drawing your bum back towards your heels, almost moving towards a little child's pose. Then we'll take it forward again, shifting the shoulders forward of the wrists. And then shift it back a couple times, shifting yourself back and forth. And then we'll just add on, we'll circle it around. So you're shifting forward and back, and then you're circling over to one side and then the other. So you can feel the weight moving through the hands, into the fingers, back into the wrists as you roll yourself around. And then we'll switch the direction of these circles. And then bring yourself into your table. Now we'll turn the right fingers to face back towards the legs or the knees. And if your fingers don't turn all the way back, that's okay. Just backing out to the side a little bit. Then gently pull your bum back towards your heels. And feel this up through that right forearm. Have a bigger little bend in the right elbow as well. And then we'll shift it back. Forward again, turn the right fingers to face back up towards the top of your mat. Same thing on the other side. Flip the left hand around, fingers facing back towards the legs or backing out to the sides. And then gently shift yourself back. Feel it opening up through the forearm. And then bring yourself back. Turn that left hand back around to face up towards the top of the mat again. Now root down into your fingers, into your hands, and we'll begin to lift the knees up off of the mat. So you're coming up onto the tops of the feet. And then lower the knees back down. Again, we'll root down into the finger pads, fingers, outer ring of the palms, hug the arms in towards each other. And lift your knees up again. So the shoulders will shift a little bit forward of the wrists again here. And then release the knees down. Let's do that one more time. Weight into the hands, lift the knees up off of the mat. And then release the knees down. Now tuck your toes under, press into the hands and glide your hips up and back into a down dog. Walk it out, pedal it out, find any movement that you like here. Bend your knees, crouch yourself down, bring the belly back towards the thighs, coming into a tiger dog, and then glide your hips back up into downward dog. Again, crouch yourself down, and then glide the hips up. And we'll bend the knees, crouch it down again. This time, press into the feet, hug in through the inner legs, begin to roll yourself forward, lift up through your belly, wave length out through the crown of the head, bring yourself into a plank position. Press the floor away with the hands, lift up through your belly, glide the hips up and back into your downward dog. Again, we'll bend the knees and crouch down, hug in through the legs, lift up through the belly, roll yourself forward, finding that plank. Lift your hips up and back again, downward dog. And then we'll bend the knees, crouch down, shift it forward into your plank. And now from your plank, let's shift forward, bring the shoulders forward of the wrists. Shift yourself back a little bit, shift it forward, and then as we did in our table, circle yourself around in a few little circles. And then switch the direction of your circles. And then glide your hips back up into your downward dog. From your downward dog, rooting into the left fingers, we'll drop that right forearm down onto the mat. So we're coming into sort of a half dolphin, half down dog. Then roll up onto your left finger pads. And then we'll plant the left hand, lift that right forearm up off of the mat, switch it to the other side. Drop that left forearm down, roll up onto your right finger pads. And then plant that right palm, lift that left forearm up off of the mat. We'll drop the knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on the heels, interlace fingers again, roll the wrists around a couple little circles. Shake the hands out. Let's take it back into our table. And from here, we'll take it into a dolphin. So drop your forearms down to the mat. Forearms can be parallel-ish towards each other. Fingers spread wide, rooting down into the mat. Or you can interlace the fingers. Just tuck the bottom pinky into the hands. And then press the forearms and the hands down into the mat. So either got the hands clasped or the forearms are parallel-ish to each other. Tuck your toes under, press into the arms, lift yourself up, press down into the fingers, down into the forearms, lift up through your armpits. Maybe you walk the feet in a little bit. Shoulders are stacking up over the elbows. Relax through your neck. Few deep breaths, pressing the floor away from you. Arms pressing down into the earth. And then we'll step the feet back, coming into a dolphin plank. Keep that belly lifted. Keep pressing down through the arms. And we'll lift up that right foot. Bring the right toes to rest on the back of that left heel. And then release right foot down to the mat. Now we'll lift up the left foot, tuck the left toes on the back of that right heel. And then release that left foot down to the mat. Drop your knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. So reach the arms up and then cactus the arms. Pull the arms down and out to the sides. And then we'll take the arms forward, tuck toes under, glide hips up and back, coming into your downward dog. Walk yourself up top of the mat. Let's fold it into our forward fold. Let your head go. Shake, nod your head. You can grab elbows if you like. Sway the arms side to side. Rock your hips. Bring yourself to center. Take hands to your hips. Root into the feet and rise all the way up to stand. Let's take the palms together overhead and glide the hands down to the heart. Reach the arms up. Fold yourself in, forward fold. Let's take it halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, fingers pressing into the shins or the thighs or the mat, spine long. Fold it back in, plant hands down to the mat and step yourself back to your plank. Drop knees down to the mat, lower yourself down all the way to the belly, pelvis comes down, torso comes down, elbows hug in, lift your heart up, baby cobra. And then release it down, tuck toes, press into the hands and glide yourself up, down dog. Now let's bend the knees, crouch down into our tiger dog. Send your right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that right knee, draw in towards your chest, shift forward, step right foot through to that right thumb. Staying up on ball of that left foot, we'll bend both knees, press into the earth, begin to peel yourself up. Reach the arms up, coming into a high lunge. You can begin to straighten that back knee. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands into fists. Bend that back knee, pull the arms down by the sides. Inhale, begin to straighten that back leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands into fists, bend the back knee, pull the hands down by the sides of the body. Inhale, one more time, arms reach up, back leg straightens. And then as you exhale, you bend the back knee, pull the arms back down. Inhale, arms reach back up. Take hands down to the mat, step yourself back into your plank. Lower knees down, lower the pubic bone, the pelvis, come all the way down. Hug elbows in, either lift up for baby cobra or full cobra. And release yourself down, tuck the toes again. Send yourself back into your down dog. Crouch it down, left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that knee, shift it forward, step, left foot through. Stay up on ball of right foot, bend right knee, both knees bent, press into your feet, hug in through the inner legs, lift up through the belly, arms reach up. Maybe you straighten that back leg a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring your hands into fists, down by your side, bend that back knee. Inhale, arms reach up, back leg straightens. Exhale, pull the hands down into fists by your sides. Inhale, back leg straightens, reach the arms up. As you exhale, bend the back knee, bring the arms down. And then inhale, arms reach back up. Exhale, take hands back down to the mat, step it back to your plank. Now either come down onto your belly and find your way into your cobra, or if you like, let's take it into chaturanga, low push-up, and then upward dog. For your chaturanga, roll yourself forward on your toes, bend your elbows, lower yourself down, so elbows will stack up over wrists, shoulders will stay above level of elbows. Then come on to tops of the feet, keep the thighs lifted, pull your heart forward, open through the chest for your upward dog. And we'll meet back in down dog. Step or hop it up, top of the mat, fold yourself in. Halfway lift to your flat back. Fold it back in, press into the feet, rise up, palms together overhead, hands to heart. Reach the arms up. Fold yourself in. Halfway lift, plant hands to the mat, step it back to plank, and then move through your flow. We'll meet in our downward dog. And then we'll drop the knees down to the mat. Now, if you have a strap, grab a hold of your strap. And if you don't, don't worry about it. If you do have a strap, you want to make a little loop on your strap. So now we're going to move into some Lolasana play. So you will want to have your 2 blocks ready. Those will go next to us. And then you take your strap, take that loop on your strap, and you're going to put it around your legs. So you can cross the shins behind you. And then come back to sit on the feet. And then we'll take the strap, take it underneath the knees, and sort of shimmy the strap all the way up so the strap comes around the top of your thighs and around your feet, your ankles, and then make it as tight as you need to so that this will keep you contained, keep your legs contained. Now we'll take our 2 blocks. Bring your blocks alongside the hips, and then this will just be a little play. All right, so maybe you'll be able to press down into the blocks and find some lift of the feet. Maybe you will just keep the feet down on the ground, but lift the knees and the shins up off of the mat. So you'll play where you are. Hands to your blocks, blocks somewhere around the thighs or the hips. And you'll press down into the blocks, spread the fingers nice and wide, and then begin to lift. Press, 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 press. Hug yourself in. So you're hugging in through the belly, hugging in through the core. Maybe the feet are still down on the ground, but maybe you get a little bit of a lift. And then lower yourself down. And then you can remove the strap for a moment. And then switch the cross of the shins behind you. So now other foot will go on top. You'll come back, sit on your feet. Again, take your strap, shimmy it all the way up. So it's around the thighs and the ankles, and then tighten up that belt. Same thing, we'll give it a little try on this side too. So again, either you're just lifting up the knees and the shins, that's awesome, because that's going to give you some strength, help with your arm strength. If you can get the feet to lift off, that's great too, but no big deal. All right, so blocks back around hips, sides of the thighs, fingers spread nice and wide. Press down into the hands, begin to hug in and up through the belly, and maybe you lift up the knees, the shins, maybe the feet. Squeeze in through the belly, and then lower yourself back down. You can remove the strap. And push it off to the side. Move the blocks out of the way. Let's take ourselves back into a downward dog. Release some pressure from the feet, the legs. Walk yourself out. Find some movement, anything that feels good. And roll up onto the balls of your feet and press your heels towards the mat. And then slowly walk yourself back to the back of the mat. As you do that, roll up onto balls of the feet, bend the knees, lower yourself down. So you're coming into yogi toe pose. And then we'll open up the knees, take the arms inside of the legs. Bring your hands down to the mat, and you can bring your knees to the upper outer arms or the backs of the arms and the triceps. So you may find that one feels better for you, but you can play around with it. So fingers spread nice and wide, knees hugging into upper arms or hugging into the back of the arms, and then begin to shift yourself forward. So just transferring our weight, transferring our balance forward. So pick yourself up onto balls of the feet, begin to shift your weight forward. So you bring your elbows forward, up over the wrists. Toes are still down on the mat. Maybe you begin to lift one toe or maybe both feet or not. And then you can release yourself back down. Let's Take it into a squat pose. Turn the toes out, heels in. Bring the backs of your hands together, fingers pointing down. Little wrist release. And then we'll bring the feet back in. One more little baby crow play here. So rolling up onto balls of the feet again. Arms in between the legs. Hug the legs into upper arms or back of arms. Spread the fingers wide. Roll up onto balls of the feet. Begin to shift it forward. Line the elbows up over the wrists. And then you stay there. Or maybe you pick up one foot, maybe both. And then you release it back down. Bring the palms together. Give yourself a smile. And then we'll turn the hands down so backs of the palms come together. Fingers pointing down. And then drop your knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. Reach the arms forward. Let's open and close the fingers again. Flicker the hands a few times. And then shake the hands. Take a deep breath in, sweep the arms out and up. As you exhale, arms come back down. Let's do it a couple more times. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale the arms out and up. As you exhale, arms come back down. Bring palms together at your heart. Thank you so much for sharing this short slow flow practice with me today. With love and gratitude. Namaste.